Thank you. I feel like I have cut off a whole lot of probably things that I didn't need to have with me anymore.
So quite a poetic act then, just chopping it all off and starting anew.
Wanted to, I suppose, let go of some things and feel unburdened and move forward. And yeah, I think that's going well. I remember being on the couch for about 2 or 3 days, just feeling completely and utterly exhausted and worrying about things that had happened within the family and just feeling like I could hardly move, and just this fatigue and brain fog. And so much earlier in the year, I felt like, you know, someone would ask me a question and it felt like I was searching in my mind in an empty box trying to find the answer, because I feel like I didn't have my memory there to reach. And I feel like coming into this year, well, certainly there are a lot of things that possibly are more overwhelming than last year. I'm feeling differently about them. And I guess taking on board what you've been teaching about preserving my energy and refilling my cup each day with my meditation and those strategies, and not feeling guilty about it, because I have this real sense of guilt every time I sit down and rest, and that has left me. I feel like, you know, this is time for me, this is an important time for me, and by making myself well and feel better, I'm a better mum and a better wife, better friend, and all of those things. Yeah. And I feel so differently, even though like I've just been working on the final essay for the course and spent a lot of time on that, and I didn't feel guilty in the process. I just, you know, could get into it and work on it and go through and review and revise all the tools and things that I've been learning about, and feel okay with that. I think definitely I'm feeling in a different frame of mind compared to where I was. And I think that's been the big thing for me this year, is the emotional growth. And like you said at the beginning, that idea of coming home. And it was funny, one of my friends was asking in our group, what would you post as, you know, a couple of words for this year? And the words I chose were coming home to self. And by doing the program with you, it gave me the confidence and I guess it strengthened my desire to actually do it and go and see my somatic therapist. And I'm going to be going this month also to do EMDR, which I'm really looking forward to. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just that next level of, because I felt really nervous leading up to it, but actually getting there, and once I got there, it was really easy just to be able to talk and work through things. And I've noticed big changes in my dreams as well. Within the first week, I noticed I was dreaming differently about the topic and feeling differently about things. So yeah, it's really interesting. And I think that's been a big thing for me this year, is seeing my dreams and how active they've been in processing what's happening, and also the way they kind of, I suppose, have fluxes, rises and falls, and how that's changing and moving forward. So, and it's been nice to be able to talk to you and Maxine to know that is a good thing and that's what's happening, and you know, that is my body releasing and processing. So it's so exciting because it opens you up to possibilities. And I love something you talked about with the part earlier in the year, where, you know, you talked about balancing the perfectionist and pusher and pleaser with those aspects of creativity and fun and new possibility and playful child and all of those. And I feel like I'm in a position where I'm starting to, you know, play more with those. I've been doing more craft and thinking of new projects and doing things like that. And I think also it's just also the thought process. I'm feeling a lot lately when I'm journaling, I feel very creative in my journaling, and I have a lot of ideas coming as well, which is really exciting. I think it's lovely because I guess it's so related to that sense of growth, and coming into the program, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to grow and move forward and be in a more comfortable and happy state. And I guess in order to be able to, you know, be creative and feel in that space, you have to have, I think you have to have a sense of space, like that sense of expansion where you do feel like you've got the time and space to reflect and think what else is possible. And it's just, yeah, such a lovely sign of what's to come, I suppose, and opportunities and being open to those.
And what do you think inhibited that before?
Well, I think a lot of it worrying what other people thought and that I wasn't good enough. I've often felt too nervous to say what's really important to me for fear of it being rejected. And so often the things that I really wanted to do the most, I really wanted to say, I haven't said. And so I think moving more to a place where I feel okay to say them and okay to start creating ideas around what I really want to do and connect with people who, you know, are going to be aligned with that. And hoping to attract those people into my life, it all feels great. Like what I valued the most about being in this challenge and being in the group is having you lovely ladies around to be able to talk to and recognise and have, you know, I guess talk about those believing mirrors and have people who go, well, yeah, that's understandable and I see that, and what about this? And you know, talking about your, you know, your fairy godmother on your shoulder to be kind and those parenting parts and, you know, talking about all the strategies to use along the way. I think it's very freeing, and it's certainly put me in a position where I felt comfortable and safe to explore so many aspects of myself that I didn't feel comfortable and safe to explore before. And I never would have thought that I'd be journaling every day like I am now. I mean, I've written journals before and health journals and things, but not like this. And I think I feel so free now with what I can write, and I don't feel worried about anyone reading it, or even if they do, well, who cares kind of thing. But, you know, I do keep it private still, but just I feel such freedom to actually write down on the page what it is that I'm feeling. I don't have to hide it or write part of it. I can actually write the whole thing. And so I think being able to actually feel my whole emotion or whole thought about something is really great. And also I find when I'm journaling, so often my brain starts thinking about all these things. It puts me into this stage of, you know, thought and processing all these things. I have to remind myself, keep writing, write it down. My brain goes on these tangents. And yeah, anyway, I get back to writing, but I feel really comfortable exploring the whole gamut now. You know, what I write down on paper doesn't have to fit into the neat box. Everything is okay because that's a part of me. And I really appreciate you teaching that all parts have a place and all parts have helped, you know, to keep you safe and to survive and get you to where you are now. And, you know, to be able to acknowledge those parts and thank those parts for what they've done, and to be able to also say, well, you know, now it can be time to rebalance with other parts that are going to serve me better now and going into the future. I don't think I ever would have imagined that being able to create freedom on a page would relate to, you know, freedom of emotion, and then I guess freedom of energy within my abdomen. And I love that through the whole course that you've been guiding me to feel back into my body and see how that feels and take things slowly so that you can really learn to notice. And I feel like I've always been sensitive in a lot of ways, but I feel like I've taken on a much greater sense of being able to tell, like if I eat something and I know I can actually feel, even though it's a tiny little ingredient in that, I can actually feel the difference that's made. It is that idea of coming together and knowing that there's not a separation. You know, I think a lot of people, you know, people talk about themselves as endo warriors and, you know, fighting their endometriosis, and use a lot of words that are quite angry against part of their body.
Yeah.
And I think, while I use that term, I don't mean in an angry way before.
Yeah.
But I think being able to know that, well, everything that's in your body is part of you. And I think while you continue to maintain a sense that part of you is not okay, and you don't like it and you hate your body and things like that, it doesn't set you in a positive space to then heal those parts. I think, you know, I think that in some ways the language and the thought, it would be positive if it changed more to that support and healing and supporting the endometriosis to heal rather than attacking the endometriosis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's why you're an EndoBoss. You're a boss of your endometriosis.
Yeah. It's just like when I was saying, when I first enrolled in this and with this course, and when I enrolled in the Next Foundation Advanced Emotions course, when I, was on my way to see my somatic therapist, it's hard because it's putting you in that situation of discomfort where you actually have to deal with the issue, the root cause of the problem. And, none of us really like dealing with, I guess, confrontation or dealing with problems. And in a way, it's not a confrontation in that you're having a big argument, but at the same time, all of your parts are learning to have a new balance, and you're really having to come up against the things that have been the hard things that have stayed stuck with you and stopped your body from healing, and having to go back into those things and really look at them and understand them better and understand, how that's affected my body, I think has been really challenging. But I've also been amazed at how emotionally driven I think so much of my pain and fatigue and all of that is. And if someone had said to me last year that, I probably would have thought, really? Because it's hard to really understand. And now at this point, I'm so glad that I did the Embracing Emotions, Empathy and Energy course too, because I feel like for me, that was my major that's been my major area of work this year. Like, I'd already put a lot of work into my nutrition and, the practical things around my house, reducing toxins, although you've helped me to take that to a deeper level again. But having to go back into the emotions and deal with the things that were being suppressed or that I'd tried to just move on from, and I think when you've had to go through a period of time, I mean, at my worst pain, 3/4 of the month, I had a major migraine. Every day I was teaching in front of a class, putting on a smile. And then, in my lunch break, I'd be laying on the floor in my office trying to get a little bit of relief. And I think when you've been through such a time where, you're just trying to keep pushing everything down to keep it contained so you can keep going, because you feel like if you let it rise, it's terrifying. And so to be able to actually, coming back to the confrontation, I guess, confront that head on and look at, well, I need to deal with all of this because it's not going to go away, and be able to deal with and understand all of that has been, really good. So hard, but really good and worth it. And I love how I'm feeling, and I'm loving everything that I've learnt, loving the tools and the new habits that I have. And it's exciting to, I think, be able to look forward then with, I think, a greater sense of openness and awareness and creativity, and feeling excited about the next possibilities that will come. And that doesn't mean I know, what's ahead, but just knowing that, I'm headed in the right direction is, I think, very special. I'd say you've got nothing to lose. Coming into this, I didn't know how my body would respond and if it would be helpful, but I think it's probably one of the best things I've done in my life. in terms of really feeling empowered and feeling like, I suppose, feeling that sense of knowing. And so I think, you know, for any women who are listening who are thinking, should I do it? Yes, please do. Go ahead and try it. Give it a go, because it's learning the tools that probably nobody has offered you before. And it's learning a new way of thinking about your condition, and a new way of being able to interact with your body through these daily tools, that then allows so much growth and allows you to tap into the area that you're maybe scared to look at, that is your emotions. And it gives you that sense of empowerment and freedom and safety and encouragement and support to actually go down deep and sit, you know, that saying of, you know, becoming comfortable in a position of discomfort, or how does it go?
Comfortable with your discomfort, yeah.
Yeah, it's like stepping outside your comfort zone and learning to feel comfortable with that. I think that is so strong. And I think the women that I met in the 21-day challenge, I still keep in contact with most of them, and they were such a driving force as well. And, you know, we supported each other and encouraged each other, and you, Wendy, and the team were just so encouraging and positive. And the thing, this is probably in the 21-day challenge, the biggest thing that I found is that every other endometriosis support group that I have been part of on Facebook has been overwhelmingly negative. And coming into your group, it was so refreshing to be able to come in and feel like, hey, this isn't going to be a source of drain. This is going to be a source where, you know, I can come here, feel uplifted and positive, and feel really encouraged to take that next step, to do my journaling today, to do my assignment tonight, because this is important to me and I'm worth it. And, you know, it increases your determination. And I think the vibe of the group was fabulous. And that's really what helped me kickstart this whole journey. So, yeah, definitely worth it. I think I've always had this sense of knowing that I'd be okay, but there's a difference between, you know, knowing it and really feeling it and embracing it, and I guess feeling excited for the potential of the future. Well, a big thank you to you and Maxine and the team and the other ladies who've been on the journey with me, and thank you for yourself for taking the brave step to, I think, start the EndoBoss program and to start the academy and write your book, because your bravery has been able to help me and so many other women to be able to really, you know, reach their potential and move towards their potential and embrace life. And so I think a big thank you, and I feel very grateful that I've been able to have this experience.